Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the state of my account for the month of May 2023. I'll get into it a little bit later than I normally would. I usually would have done it a few days ago, but I hadn't had the availability. But today I'm just going to look at some of the progress I've made recently in farming and developing my roster. And I'm also going to talk about the new raid and some opinions on that. Look at my territory battle progress and things like my Datacron stash and all that. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope it is profitable for you too. So to start off, of course, I'm going to be looking at the favorites just to see what I have done, where I'm at this moment. A few developments before I talk about what I'm working on now. Zori Bliss was a great highlight. Got her recently. I got her pretty fast, and as soon as she popped on a node, I hit that node 3 times. So the 25 crystal refresh and the 50, and then when I got within striking distance, like 58 shards away, I had a big stash of crystals, and maybe it wasn't the best use of it, but I spent like 4,800 crystals to finish her off and get her to 7-star. And it also took a little bit of extra time to get the Zetas. I think I had like 1 available for her when I finished her. Slapped the Omicron on because it's Grand Arena and it's pretty strong. And finished her off to 7 stars because I do have this Zori Datacron that was waiting for me. Let me just lock it. And it's not exactly all the stats I want because armor penetration isn't really the best thing on this team. The team you use her with, you want resistance pen, which I got some of. But really happy about Zori. That just gives me a whole new team that I wasn't using before. Also slapped the Zeta on Finn lead. I did not play back when Finn's Zeta first came out. It was actually pretty incredible. But I had no use for it until now. It's all about popping exposes and getting turn meter and reducing cooldown. So that team is just ready. They could probably use improved mods. But Zori got the red carpet treatment. As soon as she came in, all my resources went to her. Mods priority, gave her good mods, 152 speed, good protection. She's very tanky. Like, newer characters, you wouldn't think they're so tanky, but like she has over 104k protection, 78k health. She doesn't look that sturdy. I mean, when you see a small character, you don't think like, oh man, they're really durable. You think Kersan's durable, but yeah, that's just how they make them now. So she got the red carpet treatment. Admiral Trench, I do have his Datacron, so there is some use for him. I still need another Zeta. Probably will not be investing the Omicrons into him to make him much better in Territory War, just because that's pretty steep. Mara Jade also brought her up to Relic 7. She's someone I, for a long time, wouldn't have minded to have at Relic 7, but I didn't have a compelling reason to until this set 8, so I got her up to 7, which is nice because now I can use her in Territory Battle up to Wave 3, which is very nice. It actually opens up the board for Starkiller teams, which wasn't before, because I wasn't just going to use Palpatine. I've used some random leads, but anyway. 000, I still have him in favorites just hanging around because one day I might give him his Zeta, but as of now, there's still plenty of other priorities for me. So he keeps getting put on the back burner. And Savage, yeah, I wanted to get him to 7, but I have to take a pause on that because of all the raid stuff. That's the priority right now on Cal Kestis, which I'll talk about in a second. But I had bumped him up to 6 after that match I lost versus Malgus. I was thinking, yeah, maybe if I had a little bit more damage, maybe I could do it. And just having an R5 Servage doesn't feel as intimidating as it once did. So at least a little bump there for him. So that's what I've done. And now what I am doing is you see a lot of Hut Cartel here. And I do have them all at Relic 7. But until like a couple days ago, until the raid came out, I had Bush at Relic 6 and Lando at Relic 6. I had some signal data saved up and I was farming Cal. I've made some great progress on him. He's already 6-star. Getting to 7-star, so even though I probably won't finish him during double drops, I should finish him shortly after, and that'll be a great addition to my Ray squad. And I already slapped on the Zeta, which I should have probably given it to Trench, because I'm using Trench currently, and by the time I have Cal ready, I'll have another Zeta, but anyway, just a little mistake. And I do want to get the rest of these guys to Relic 8, because the way the reward works, you really need to just be maxing out as much damage as you can. You only get 5 teams to work with, 5 attempts that you can keep. And the best by far is Hut Cartel. They're the easiest to max out on that R8 level. They're the best value for R8. It was a team for a while I thought, you know, should be decent to get to R8. I could use some territory battle, but there, again, wasn't enough of a compelling reason. They seem to work just fine for me at R7, R6, but I'll be taking them to R8, starting with Jabba, then probably Bush, honestly, and then Chrysanthemum, and then Lando last. You don't need the Bush Omicron to max out the top tier with a Jabba team. But if you do have it, you can do it with a 4-man team. So it might be worth it to get that, because you wouldn't have to take Skip Lando to R8. And Boba Fett's already R8, which if you have Executor. So it's a requirement there that is coming in handy much after it was imposed on us. But yeah, that's why I'm working on these guys. That's pretty much the focus right now. Before that, I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know what I really want to bump up high. Like, it's either just waiting for new characters to finish, or I could just bump up higher relics. At some point, if I get enough girded key badges from the raid, I might start working on getting these guys to R9. These Galactic Legends, kind of sad. They've all been at R8 for so long. Elders, they're still just to request the data pad. So I'm always going to need more Bronzians. Still the case, and he's going to stay there for a while. And people don't really mind giving up 2 of those here and there. But Cal Kestis, I was super happy to see this pop up on this cheap of a node. This is so free-to-play friendly, not brand new player friendly, because I don't know how early you want to actually farm Cal Kestis. But for a free late game player, this is super nice and just very convenient. I stockpiled, or I hoarded just Cantina energy for double drops. No other energy, just because Cantina is easier to spend. Like for normal energy, yeah, I could hoard it for Tusken Chieftain, but I'm still gated behind 3 attempts a day that I'm willing to pay. And yeah, I could get some gear, but so the Chieftain's coming along. Getting close to halfway to 6 stars, and Warrior took a pause for Cal because I can use Cal right away. Alright, he can fit to a team I already have, and Tusken Warrior needs to wait for Chieftain anyway. So lots of developments and a lot more to come, but now let's look at the raid. Okay, so now to talk about the Great Raid. I didn't want to make a video just only talking about this, but it just seems like a clear thing to fit into a state of my account or an account progress video. This is very important. It's very important to master, and I mean, a lot of people are very sour, and I understand and I agree on a lot of points of the issues with this raid. There's a lot of limiting factors in the raid that make it kind of easier to mentally manage. Like, okay, you can only do 5 attacks. There's only these 5 factions you can use. So as soon as you have 5 teams that you can make use of, you don't have to worry about experimenting with other things. And in my opinion, the teams you want to use a Jabba team, a BAM-led leftover Hut Cartel and Mandalorian team, so basically a bounty hunter team under BAM, a Maul team, a Giant Revan team, and then a Tusken team if you can. That 5th slot, I don't think a standard Old Republic team fits in. I don't think Jabba's are worth it. Tuskens, I think, should be the 5th. And I'm going to do a video later. You can get max rewards for level 5 with that BAM team, just random like bounty hunters. Revan, you can also get close to max, or max, and I'm going to do a video on that too. So I'm going to do a video on those 2 things. Maul is hard for me. I haven't mastered it well enough that I want to make a video on it yet, so maybe with time, we'll see. But I don't like the abilities for Mandalorians. So where are those? Yeah, so these faction bonuses. The one I hate the most is Mandalorian. Yes, they're immune to poison, but you can cleanse pretty easily by blowing up bombs. The damage the characters deal reduced by 50%. Like, that just sucks. I mean, they take less damage too. I do like that they don't trigger turn meter gain. That's pretty much vital to a Maul team because you're just swarming all the time. If they were getting turn meter, that would be awful. And it's really easy for them to recover someone out of the raid because they're inflicting tenacity down. But so half good, half bad. The best, I think, is Hut Cartel. They can just spam explosives. And they go through them really fast. They blow them up instantly. I think it's the best. I do like the Tusken bonus too. Cycling through, they can rescue easier. But I do think definitely the best is Hut Cartel. Old Republic is like, It is clearly they're trying to force Karth, but Karth is not something you should, that whole team is not something you should develop just for this raid, just seriously. It's not even going to fit into the best 5 teams you could have. And then hero unit, this is just for BAM, so it's a lot of different stuff, and there's talks of a turn meter loop going on with them. I don't know if the team I used is, they're getting a ton of turn meter. I don't know if that's just going to get nerfed and the team's going to suck, but right now I can max it out with BAM and random bounty hunters. Some things I do like, other things I do like about it is, I like us 90k tickets, so you can run it twice a week. It's actually cheaper than just the Sith raid. You can run it like every 3 days, so 10 times in a month. So you can get a good bit there, but the reward structure is just, it's lacking. So right now, I think we'll get the 130 million crate, but right now we just get the first 2 currencies, and you have to get the 130 million to get this currency, which is hard. My guild's 460 billion or something GP total, and we're still gonna have trouble with that. Definitely not gonna get this. It's just insane how high they get. Like, you have to have like your whole roster has to be like R8 to get up to these. So it's gonna be crazy, and I'm gonna look at the currencies soon, because there's a lot of problems there too. The main problems I have with the rewards, I think for me, actually, I'm gonna be perfectly fine. But there's a lot of problems for newer players. One, the character shards that you get from the currency, like these. This is currency that used to be more orange and now is yellow. They all are. It's hard to tell them apart when you're looking through. That's a UI criticism. But these, you only get them now, just from the daily like guild objectives, like spend a bunch of energy or do dark side battles. It's like, how are new players supposed to get the characters that are only in here? I'm not seeing a ton of important ones right now. Stark is important. I think you just get them here. You need the TIE pilot. But how are we going to get those for new players? I do like that this is here. You can actually finish these characters off much faster. If you're a new player and you really want to get one of these, you can finish them off much faster than you would have otherwise. But they locked it for me because I already finished it off. So we're losing. That's a minor complaint. We're losing a bunch of shard shop currency we're gonna get otherwise. Like, how much of this did I get in a week? I got like basically 35 pawn shards on average, like 25 GK, and like 15 of these. That's like 80 shard shop currency or 70 or something that I'm missing out on. So that kind of sucks for me. The second large problem is arrow magnifiers. So whereas you were just getting them hand over fist in challenge pit to the point you didn't know what to do with them, now they're just going to be gated behind this new currency. You have to get 130 million as a whole guild, and even then you could buy like 2 of these. This is awful. This is number one thing that needs to get fixed, in my opinion. If they don't fix this currency, they need to fix this, because right now I have so much. I just didn't even care about them. I was like, okay, yeah, they're piling up. I don't know when I'd use all of these up, but this is just, now when I get a drop of it in some other event, I'm gonna be like, okay, cool, air magnifier. It's just awful. This is so overpriced, and it's exclusive. You can't like break down materials for it, so that is just a huge issue with these rewards. The third big problem, it's more like just a minor complaint. The arrow magnifiers are just completely a disaster. But one thing I'm gonna miss is whenever we get top 10 and H Sith, the heroic Sith raid, you had a good chance to get a fully crafted Gear 12 Plus piece, which costs like 5,800 crystals. It was the most valuable drop you can get in the whole game. I got so many of those. It was so crucial as a developing free player. And the Gear 12 pieces too, but those I was less concerned about. The Gear 12 Plus was insane because it required one of these primary pieces, one of like the back, the second yellow piece. It required a bunch of purple pieces, like these med packs, and then like a piece of core gear. So it was like insanely valuable. Right now, what I do like is that when you can choose what you're getting, you can choose only the exact type of piece that you don't have a lot on. Like, clearly I have a ton of these Mark 12 Carbondis. I don't need more of those right now. And this Mark 12, whatever it is, shield generator. I don't need more of those. I do need more of these. But also what's kind of nice is this is what I call the primary piece of Gear 12 Plus, and then there's the secondary yellow piece. And the secondary one is cheaper than the primary. So I'm going to focus on just those, and then with my fleet energy, I'm going to farm the primary side piece. And also what's very strange and doesn't make sense is the Gear 12 pieces on the left side more expensive than the Gear 12 Plus. I mean, these are so cheap. Like, it's backwards compared to other stuff like Shard Chop currency. It costs $720 for both primary and secondary Gear 12 Plus piece, but then just Gear 12 piece is half the price. So it's very wonky. I don't understand the logic of it. And also this store is way too big. They need to organize this better. It's hard to tell. Zeta's kind of nice. I don't know if I'd spend this on a Zeta. I mean, that's just one Zeta, and for that price you can get a few Gerda keypads. Yeah, so I'll probably focus on the Gerda keypads with this Mark III. I do need to do an updated shipments guide, sharing my opinions on all this, because this is going to be a big deal, but it is giving some upfront ideas. And I want to actually get some rewards before I evaluate fully, but it's going to be, it is a needed update I need to do. But these are, this is so bad. 3 carbonite sticker for 12. Like, what is this? Who is thinking about? And even this too. This is a higher level relic piece, but like, just use holo projectors, fully crafted holo projectors. Never buy that. Never buy this. Never buy this. Never buy this. Never buy any. Don't even buy electrum conductors. Yeah, definitely don't do that. Or Zimbittles. You might want to do impulse detectors. You might want to do Gerda keypads. But I would definitely Gerda keypad. But yeah, so the problem, the arrow magnifiers, the character shards from this, we're losing Shard Chop currency. Fleet credits aren't in there anymore. And what was the last thing? The fully crafted Gear 12 Plus is missing, which sucks. And this store is way too bloated. So that's my synopsis of the rewards at this point. Actually, one more thing on it that's a positive. I do think this level 1 currency, it does seem to pile up. You do get a lot of it, and it's pretty sweet. You can buy core gear in bulk, like 35 stun guns there. It's not having to wait just like 5 at a time or 10 at a time. And there's like shipments of 125 for things that I like to get. So this Mark 7 thing, I don't need that, but there's like Mark 9 eyeballs. Yeah, this I do need like 125 of them just all at once. If I finish the raid or hit a milestone, I can just buy that and not have to check the store every like 3 hours and see if the right thing's in there. 125 carbondis, I do like that. You can just really hone in on only what you need, and that is a huge plus, make no mistake about it. But I'm worried we are freezing out newer players with a lot of this. Switching gears, just wanted to look at our Rise of the Empire territory battle progress. We're basically to the point now where we finish in the R8 zones. We 3-star all the other ones before. I think we'll get some stars on these other 2 R8 zones just from GP. This one's easy for the battles, the light side one, Lothal. This one's ridiculous. This is like so hard. I think I got a wave with Lord Vader or something, or somebody, but it's just ridiculously overpowered. And the people and the characters that are so devastatingly powerful are, I think it's funny to me that they're called partisans. It's just such a weird thing. Like, what's the most scary opponent in Galaxy of Heroes? Partisans. It's just so odd. We got 40 Reba shards, so we're pretty good. You know, we got a really slow start, but 40, pretty happy with. In June we might get a few more, but we'll get her in a couple months. Until then, I kind of enjoy the challenge of working without her. I am all about getting a lot of waves, and I'm number 4 for overall GP contributed. For waves, I'm tied first, and I've dropped 3, which I hate. I hated the ones I dropped. I was like, oh, so avoidable. I dropped a Profundity battle on Kashyyyk, I think. I dropped the second wave of a JML because I had to give up my Revan on Kashyyyk. And you really need that savior. And then I lost a Supreme Leader Kylo match on Dathomir because my reviving didn't time out well. But I do enjoy it when I get the chance. Like sometimes if I don't have a lot of time, it's like, oh man, I gotta spend time in it. But I really am enjoying this new TB. I want to look at my Datacron inventory. Set 7, of course, that's not changed in a while. What kind of did when set 6 expired? I had to burn some data cache there. But I'm not a huge fan of set 8. A lot of the things just don't work as well for me. I could probably make use of a Cal Kestis one. I didn't expect that to be the case, but him on a Cantina node is great. I have 3 level 9s so far, and I'm using 2 of them for that level 9. So Mara Jade, I got the right setup. I got the wordy one for level 6, and hers for level 9. It actually cost me banners in GAC though, because I killed General Skywalker too fast. But I'm going to try it against Rey. Hopefully that works well or makes it easier to beat her. I have Trench, which is why I brought my Trench up to R7 long term. Questionable move, but it should give me an extra boost. At least in 3v3, I know I can use him. I did get the level 6 I wanted and the level 3 I wanted, so it's pretty much exactly what I wanted, and lots of protection. The worst thing is accuracy. I tried to re-roll it, but no dice. Got some crit damage, so I'm pretty happy with this one. And then the Ben one, I still don't think it's that valuable. I mean, if you combine it with a plus 100% damage on level 6, and you're using it on offense so you can control the pace of things, it can be a pretty good combo. Another way it's good is if you use him with Cal and Rey in 3v3. Then there's a lot of healing, and then he can heal up and do big hits. But Starkiller can kind of prevent this entirely, because shock prevents turn meter and prevents healing recovery. So if he's not 100% health, then he's not going to do tons of damage. But what this mod actually is for me, this is a JML mod. And it's actually just an amazing mod that I could use anywhere, but JML seems to be optimized. Got lots of protection, and then crit damage as the secondary one. I was aiming for protection, but I didn't re-roll the crit damages. And I'm only at 40 for the re-rolls, so I didn't even max out all the re-rolls. But I don't know what I'd change. It's kind of sad that this level 4 is barely better than this level 1. But yeah, really good mod there. And Tuskens, I hope I get used to them sometime. I might need to take one up to level 9. I would like to get a Poggle. If I got a Poggle one, I'd probably build up my Poggle to R7 and use it with Geonosians, but I'd also want the one with the Riposte, because they'd be a pretty great offensive team if you're choosy with it. And then the best level 6s that I like are Unaligned Force users, because I have a lot of them. I can make use of it. I have basically 2 of these, plus 100% damage, and 2 of the offense ones. So let me find one. Yeah, so this one's awesome for Maul, because Maul's never going to have 100% health protection because he hurts himself. But offense up, he never usually gets it, and then even defense penetration helps the whole team. Mainly just Canderous, because Canderous will probably be the only one taking a turn before Maul goes off. But defense penetration helps too for like the AoE to finish people off. You can get back to 5 stacks with Maul. So that's awesome. So I got a few things to work with. But for the Tusken ones, I pretty much look at them as generic dark side. Datacrons, like I have the protection up, so I can use one for Lord Vader, one for Wampa, and then some stats. But you know, I can't always have good stats. With a level 8, it's basically just you take what you get, you take it or leave it. And I did just bump up a bunch to level 3 because I just want to have something available to use. And the level 3s, sometimes they're nice. I mean, the protection up, definitely nice. The offense stacking, or the potency is more powerful, I think, than the offense. The offense, it's so slow to get anywhere. The health and protection recovery is helpful. But I'm looking for that offense one. Maybe get it for the bus. It's just so slow. It takes 10 turns to be equivalent to offense up, which is just not feasible at all. Anyway, I can't find it, but whatever. I'm not as sweet on that one as I was at the beginning. It seems nice on paper, but in practice, it's not super impactful. So that's it for today in the state of my account. I'm going to be working on some raid videos soon. I have a couple for sure and might do some later. Looking forward to that. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing my progress. It's one of the most fun parts of the game for me. And I know seeing it on for other people can be enjoyable too. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.